It's another divestment disaster!
Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, an offer he can't refuse. The man who rules the world gets a job offer he can't refuse in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes, an offer he can't refuse at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. An Alabama black woman was allegedly shot and killed by her white boyfriend in their Calera home.
County, where a man is accused of killing a woman last night on the Heights Drive in North Calera.
Police say Noah Hendricks shot and killed Jennifer Talley. Investigators say he was quickly identified and taken into custody in Clanton. They also say this was a domestic relationship, and that's the vast majority of violent crimes they're seeing.
Now, according to reports, 22-year-old Noah Hendricks, a white man, allegedly shot and killed his 23-year-old black girlfriend, Jennifer Talley, inside of the residence they lived together in the Heights of North Calera, Alabama. And after Noah Hendricks allegedly shot and killed his girlfriend, he did not go to look to get her help immediately. No, what Noah Hendricks did on the night of February 12th was go and call his brother, who lived in Auburn, after the shooting. And after calling his brother, the brother was the one who called a non-emergency line and spoke with dispatchers that night. And after officers came to the home, they found Jennifer Talley in the back bedroom suffering from that gunshot wound. And while paramedics were called, she was pronounced dead at the scene. And after Jennifer Talley was pronounced dead at the scene, Noah Hendricks was arrested after he was located at his job after hours. And that's where police then took him into custody. And after they took him into custody, where he had blood on his clothes and his hands, they then arrested him and charged him with first-degree murder. Now, they found Noah Hendricks' gun inside of the glove box of his car at the workplace that night. And while he tried to tell police that it was an accident because he had the gun on the nightstand and his finger slipped and the gun went off, basically when the medical examiner did their investigation, they found that the shot that he said came 4 to 5 feet from her actually only came centimeters away or loose touching from her. And that's the main reason why they are basically charging Noah Hendricks with murder. Now, what happened here and what police want to call an isolated incident of domestic violence could be possibly another case of divesting gone wrong. Now, in the case of Noah Hendricks, he basically is showing me how little regard he had for this black woman's life by the actions he took after he allegedly accidentally shot his girlfriend. Now, when I look at this whole situation between Noah Hendricks and his girlfriend, it really reminds me of the situation between the late Telbo Rackens and his white girlfriend, who basically allegedly wound up shooting and killing her black boyfriend as a so-called accident. But in both of these cases, again, the actions basically are quite suspect as related to what they did after their spouses or fiancés were shot. And what happened here with Noah Hendricks basically shows me how little regard this white man had for this black woman's life. Because instead of going out here and calling 911 immediately to try to get them to save the life of his ex-girlfriend after allegedly accidentally shooting her, what Noah Hendricks did was go out here and call his brother, and he had to wait a long time possibly for his brother to show up, because Alabama is possibly filled with a lot of roads as related to going to these places, because Alabama is a rural state. And with Alabama being a rural state, possibly precious seconds were being lost as related to this black woman's life. But that didn't matter to Noah Hendricks, because Noah Hendricks was only looking out for himself. And that's what many swirlers and divestors really can't see, because many swirlers and divestors become spellbound as they get in the presence of a white man. And as they get in the presence of that white man, they basically don't see him objectively as a man. No, they see that white man similar to a god. And as they see that white man similar to a god, they basically think that everything is around him is perfect. But in many cases, they're not dealing with any sort of perfect man at all. No, in many cases, what they're dealing with are basically beta white males who are the rejects of the social marketplace. And these rejects of the social marketplace basically appear to be more attractive to these black women because they believe that the white man is better than the black man. And many of them, because they get spellbound, they're thinking they're getting the ultimate deal as related to getting a man to pay attention to them because a white man is paying attention to them, not understanding you're dealing with a guy from the bottom of the barrel. And that bottom of the barrel guy basically has a lot of serious issues that make it where he basically isn't able to find love with the white women in his community. Many of the white women in that community already know that this guy has issues and won't deal with him in any way, shape, or form. But these black women, because they're mesmerized and spellbound by the crystal eyes and creamy skin of these white men and the possibility of possibly having some mixed children, they basically get involved with this white man, thinking they've hit the jackpot, when in actuality what they've gotten is a whammy of a guy. And sadly, that's possibly what happened here with this young black sister, is that she basically, again, Jennifer Talley, got involved with this guy. And as she got involved with this guy, she possibly was looking to move fast to get things going with this guy, moving him into her home. Something any smart woman would not go out here and do is move a man into her home. And because when it comes down to smart women, they understand the only time you move in with a man is when you marry that man. But the whole thing is, this woman basically, because she was eager to get this white man, moved her into her home, and possibly it was her home with her name on the lease, because that's usually what happens in these cases. And as she got involved with this white man, possibly as related to their relationship, things were not going as good as people thought, because possibly when it comes down to these beta white males, yeah, everything will look good on the surface, but a lot of these guys are simmering and boiling in anger. And as a black woman gets involved with these guys, eventually their issues start to rise to the surface as well. And that leads to a lot of arguing behind the scenes that we don't see. And that's possibly what could have happened inside of that bedroom of that apartment. They possibly got into some sort of argument, and possibly what happened was this black woman possibly gave him the classic black woman attitude, and this guy basically wound up losing it because this woman was pushing back on him. And as she pushed back on him, possibly for the first time, that's where he possibly went out here and took out this gun and basically looked to end her life for pushing back against him. Because when it comes down to these white males, they don't really like it when black women go out here and push back against them. No, they are used to black women going out here and being docile and submissive to them, and they only put up with white women pushing back on them. But when it came down to this situation, this possibly could have been what happened to here, as related to ending this whole situation of being happily ever after and turning into the divestment disaster that led to Noah Hendricks winding up getting arrested and charged with murder. And he would deserve to be charged with murder based on his actions as related to what he did after the alleged shooting. Because again, I'll repeat it once more, if a man truly cares about a woman, he's going to call 911 immediately after accidentally shooting a girlfriend. She's going to call 911, look to put pressure on the wound, and look to do everything they can to try to save the life of that person. And that's what they're going to do because they love and care about that person. But when a man doesn't really love or care about someone, they will do what Noah Hendricks did, call up a family member looking to try to find a way to weasel out of what they've done. And when they realize they can't weasel out of what they've done, they go looking to go and run. And that's what Noah Hendricks looked to do. And that's where many of the swirlers and divestors get it twisted. They're thinking that these white men are a better choice. But it's looking to me like in the case of Noah Hendricks, he's not a better choice. No, he's basically showing why many black women need to give pause before they think about getting involved in one of these swirling and divesting relationships, because it's not going to end in happily ever after. No, it's going to end in a tragic divestment disaster where the black woman winds up losing her life due to a man who basically had no regard for her whatsoever. And that was shown by the cold and callous way that Noah Hendricks basically treated this woman after he wound up allegedly accidentally shooting her. After he allegedly accidentally shot this woman, that tells more about how little he cared about this black woman. And that's the thing that flies over the heads of most of these black women who are involved in some of these swirling relationships. Because I'm not going to say interracial relationships, because in interracial relationships, the partners genuinely care for each other and will do what to look out for each other. But in these swirling and divesting relationships, these women basically, again, are involved with a white man, and they don't really see how little this man cares about her outside of getting possible sexual access and possibly having a place to stay. That's the only reasons why many of these beta white males get involved with these black women, because they know they don't have many options in the social marketplace. Many of the white women aren't going to give them some place to stay and easy sexual access just because they're there. No, they know that those white women have higher standards, but the black woman has lower standards, so they know they can go out here and get that easy sexual access to that chocolate atomic waste and basically have a place to stay, the same way Pookie and Ray Ray can get themselves a place to stay with that black woman. But sadly, this guy, that he basically hit a point where he got so impulsive that he again wound up taking this woman's life, and now he's taking a trip to the county jail. And after taking a trip to the county jail, if he is convicted and in the system of white supremacy and the system of white privilege don't give him a pass, he may be taking a trip where he will be in for another type of swirl with Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles, as they possibly will be trading his front side and his backside for items in the commissary like Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, Keef coffee, Taster's Choice coffee, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand orange drink, off-brand kiwi strawberry drink, off-brand apple juice, off-brand ginger ale, off-brand Dr. Pepper, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snaps, Hunt's snack pack puddings, beef jerky with cheddar cheese, beef jerky with Monterey Jack cheese, beef jerky with mozzarella cheese, hot and sour pickles, Fritos chips, hot flaming Cheetos, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pies. I mean, they will be possibly turning out that front side and that back side as he winds up participating in a different type of swirl. And as he's basically in that type of swirl, and they're turning out that front side and that back side of this white boy, that's when he will have to, again, have feelings of regret as Mr. Sprinkles comes in and possibly looks to spray the face with a glaze of the special sauce before glazing up the back and then calling all the guys from Cell Block D to check out White Boy's backside looking like the inner ring of a Louisiana crunch cake. And that's possibly one of the reasons why this white boy possibly wants to get out of this world, because he knows what's coming for him inside of that penitentiary for taking this black woman's life. He knows that if they convict him of these crimes, he's basically going to be, again, in a different type of swirl, in a different type of world, and that's the fate that he will be suffering if white privilege and white supremacy don't kick in and get him out of this mess. But there's no way for him to get out of this mess based on the evidence, because Unlike with the case of Tellable Rackens, where that white girl basically had her father being a police officer and she having the white privilege of being a white woman, this white man may be on the road to headed to the penitentiary, but sadly, when I look at this case, it's another tragic case of a black woman, again, thinking she can hop over the fence and swirl her way to happily ever after. But sadly, what happened here was another tragic case of another black female in a divestment disaster. And as she got into this divestment disaster, it's a tragic pattern I'm seeing as related to black women in this country. I mean, I'm seeing a tragic pattern as related to black women who are young getting involved with these white men. And as they get involved with these white males, they're thinking they're going to get a better choice. But the only thing that happens with the better choice is that they wind up on a fast road to getting a toe tag, thinking, oh, I'll go out here and get with this white man and things will be better for me. But things don't seem to be that much better, because while Pookie and Ray Ray ain't that great, they don't go out here and do harm to black women like these white men do, and they show a little bit more regard for the black woman's life than these white men do, because these white men, when you push them the wrong way, they don't see a black woman's life as having any value whatsoever. And since they don't see the black woman's life as having no value whatsoever, that's how they can be just as cold and callous as this guy was. I mean, I think about the way this guy treated this woman. Again, I'm repeating it for a third time because I want you to understand how little regard this man had for a woman he said he was in a relationship with. I mean, what type of boyfriend goes out here and calls his brother after shooting his girlfriend by an accident? That's just not something a man does who loves a woman, and that's what flies over the heads of the swirlers who get caught up in the color of the man's skin, but don't look at the content of that man's character. And as they don't take that critical look at the content of that man's character, that's how they wind up in tragic situations like this. That's how they wind up in a tragic situation like this with a white man who they think, again, I'll repeat it once more, think they're going to take them to happily ever after, but sadly they wind up in videos like this being talked about as another divestment disaster. Now, if you want to learn how to avoid a divestment disaster, you can pick up my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format, and you can find Why 70% of Black Women Are Single at other online booksellers like Draft Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And you can also pick up other men's issues books like The Man Crisis to learn how to avoid beta males like this, or Stop Simping Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance to learn how to break out of the simp paradigm. And if you want to see me talk more about divestment disasters, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback at e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today.
Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many black women can't find a husband and why 70% of black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.
Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.